Hello and welcome back to the Tokenomics to Time playlist. Congratulations if you've made it this far. We're on the final step of the process, getting a legal opinion. As a quick reminder, this content is for educational purposes only. It is not legal, financial, technical, or investment advice. So do not construe this topic as me giving any legal advice. I am merely saying how important it is to get legal advice from a registered professional. I am not a registered professional. So we're on step 7 here, as I mentioned, the last step of the tokenomics design process, legal opinion. And we'll dive right in with an overview of legal opinion. So remember that we've always talked in every step about how comps, market comps, are a general best practice, but do not assume that just because another project does something, you can too. You know, for example, BNB, Binance, right, does buyback and burns of the BNB token. But just because they do that does not mean that you can do that too necessarily, right? BNB and Binance are very special cases. Chances are you are not CZ, you are not Binance. So do not just assume that, oh, someone else is doing it, so I can do it and be perfectly immune and be fine. No, that is not the case. Some general rules of thumb, according to Miles Jennings. So these are not my own words. This is not my content. This is direct quotes from Miles Jennings, who's global compliance at A16Z Crypto. Don't sell tokens to US persons for fundraising purposes. Even if you aren't selling tokens, don't market or hype them as an investment opportunity. Don't prioritize or emphasize second market liquidity or listings. Decentralization does matter. So post the token issuance, development work should be coordinated by a DAO, not the original development company. And any and all activity by that development company will likely be construed negatively by the SEC. So build a final product before you launch a token. That's again, Miles Jennings' words. And finally, the principles of decentralization need to be consistently reflected in communications, both public as well as private. So those are some best practices, some overall suggestions from Miles Jennings. You might find them too restrictive, but again, that just underlies the importance of talking to your own counsel, talking to your own registered professional. They may or may not be applicable to your specifics. Yet, regardless of your specifics, whether it's the SEC crackdown on previous ICOs or the Tornado Cash developer recently getting arrested, clearly it's a must to get a legal opinion. This is not optional. This is not the Wild West of 2017 ICO market anymore. You must get a legal opinion, even if you think that you will be in the clear, not violating any laws or doing anything that will draw the ire of regulators. Some legal aspects to consider. This is not a mutually exhaustive list, but some legal aspects to consider are your corporate structure. So there, commonly sometimes you have an offshore foundation, you have a token seller entity, you have a development entity. So you need to consider all of those individually as well as the overall corporate structure. You need to consider taxes, both at a project level and for personal, the founders, yourself, the team, personal tax, securities law. Will your token be classified as a security, financial security, or a utility token, or something in between? KYC and AML, that is relevant, even if you are not a security token. And there may be other aspects that are relevant. This is not an exhaustive list per se, but there are some aspects to consider. So again, this is not legal advice, just a list of some things you need to get a professional opinion on. One of the best tools for evaluating, one of the best frameworks for evaluating the securities law risk is Crypto Rating Council's Security Law Framework. You can find that at their website, cryptoratingcouncil.com/framework. I'll just bring it up briefly. I'm not going to walk through it entirely because this is it's best if you read it in their own words. But this is their description of this framework. They have an example already completed for Ethereum, and they have a scoring methodology that you can download and use. And so this does not replace the need to get legal representation, obviously, and get a legal opinion, but it does help you just have a more educated conversation and maybe start from a more advanced position when you start speaking to lawyers. So the bottom line is, to a registered professional. We talked about a couple of different things that you need to keep in mind. There are many more firsthand resources from crypto lawyers, from other professionals that are in the full Tokenomics for Builders guide, which you can find again at Linktree/Tokenomics. I haven't included them here because, again, I'm not a lawyer myself. I think it's best if you read them yourself from their own perspective and their own words. But those additional resources and guides, there are a bunch more actual firsthand resources available in the full tokenomics design, Tokenomics for Builders book that you can find at that link that I haven't discussed here. But if you've come this far, congratulations, you've completed the tokenomics design process. Remember that it is iterative, and this applies especially to the legal opinion step. So don't be discouraged if you've done all this work, gotten all this way, and then your lawyer says, well, actually, this piece of it doesn't work for X, Y, and Z. That's just a normal part of the process. You need to go back to that original step where the problem arose, resolve that, then complete every other step after that, and then re-get your sign-off from your lawyer, your legal team. So that's a normal part of the process. Don't be discouraged when that happens. It's inevitable. Lawyers might say you can't do this. Well, you need to work with them to find a way you can achieve a similar outcome, but in a compliant way. So congrats on making it this far. As I mentioned, lots more of firsthand resources for legal resources, as well as everything we've talked in this whole playlist is available at Linktree Tokenomics. You can get the whole complete Tokenomics for Builders guide there. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this playlist. Please do get in touch if you find value in it. I'd like to, of course, thank the Stacks Foundation for helping contribute and enable this research and producing all these resources. So thank you for watching. Please do follow and get in touch. And I hope this has put you on the right path to launching your project and your token. Cheers.